Hello, everyone. Welcome to The Shift with Jay Dodia. I'm so grateful that you're here listening to my podcast. This is the very first episode of the podcast, and I'm very excited to talk to Eudes Johan Soussa, aka Jojo. This guy, he has a lot of different experiences in his life. He is doing a lot right now, and he has still a lot to do yet. Uh, and have you ever imagined that one day you just want to move away from your country to a new country and keep changing your country every year? He has lived in 4 countries till now, and starting from Congo, he's been to France, he has lived in the UK, he has lived on a very different part of the United States, and currently he is in Philadelphia since the past 6 months. He has a lot to share with you about his experiences, about his life lessons. And believe me, this guy left his home when he was just 15 years old. And currently he is 24. And in these 8 years, he has had a lot of different experiences. Let's hear it from him. And good to see you again. And let's dive in. Hello and welcome to my channel, The Shift with Jay Dodia. I have a very special guest today with me. It's Eudes Johan Soussa, also known as Jojo by everyone. He is a graduate student at Drexel University, completing his master's in public health. He has lived all his life in Congo, France, as well as UK, and currently he's here in the United States for the past 6 years. It's a very colorful background that he has. Let's hear it from him. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So, how do you feel today is?
Today is a special day. Like, as you can see, like the weather is quite gloomy, but it's the temperature is perfect for me. It's a perfect temperature to go out and in the park. So we're having fun.
Awesome. So, first, I want to know more about you. I just know an overview what you're doing.
Yeah.
But you tell me a little more about you. I've heard that you also are a fashion model, like I don't know if a part-time or something,
Yeah.
but please tell me, like, are you currently doing both of them simultaneously, like a graduate degree as well as your the career thing?
Okay.
Fashion career?
Yeah, that works. I can tell you more about it. So as you said, like I have a very colorful background. I'm from Congo. I lived in France, the UK, and now I'm in America. And I started. I basically moved for school. I've been moving from country to country for school. Right now I'm doing my master. And while doing school, I also found a new interest in fashion. So I started my journey in the fashion industry when I was in London.
Mm-hmm.
So I started by going to casting and everything like that. And then that's when I decided to put myself and work on myself to become a runway model. Because fashion is big, but you have to, like, I'm specifically doing runway modeling. And I've done some volunteering, like unpaid modeling content and like event. And I took part in some campaign. And then I realized that I like it. So since then, I've been doing modeling since I was in the UK until now. Yeah.
That's wonderful. So it's been like 7 years that you're doing
I would
your
say
modeling?
7 years.
Awesome. So actually, before diving into any such topics, I want to ask you about your childhood. Like, you grew up in Congo. You said you were there for like 15 years.
For 15 years.
Yeah, like we had a conversation before. You said you were there for 15 years. You tell me more about Congo. Like, how is the country like? The people?
Yeah, sure.
Your childhood, how it was like? Yeah,
that works. Well, Congo is it's a nice country.
Mhm.
Like there are two Congos. There's DRC Congo, and there is R Congo. So I'm from the Republic of Congo.
Wow.
not the
This
DRC
is the
part.
first time I got to know that Congo is like two separate countries.
I know. Like a lot of time when I say I'm from Congo, people assume that, oh, you're from DRC Congo. And no, I'm from the other one, like the small one.
Oh.
One is big, one is
Oh,
small.
you are just RC?
I'm just RC. I'm from the smaller one. So yeah, I'm from that Congo. It's a very peaceful and quiet country, you know. And the people over there are very nice. The culture is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And our culture is very diverse. What I'm saying is like, if people from other countries come to my Congo Brazzaville, they'll be like, oh, you guys also have this, you guys also have this, just to say that our culture is like a mix of a lot of things. Mm-hmm. And sometimes even myself, when I travel to other countries, I was like, oh, this is supposed to be a Congolese thing, you know? And then let's say my friend from another country is like, oh no, we do it in my country. Meow. Like, because this whole time I thought that only applied to my country. Mm-hmm. And well, I'm from a big family. We are nine siblings.
9 siblings? Yeah. Wow, that's a big family.
There are like seven guys and 2 girls. I'm the number 8, so there's another one after me.
Oh, so you are among the youngest ones, so you get the most pampered, I guess?
Somehow, I would say that, you know. I mean, big family comes big responsibilities and that's a lot of like things for my parents to do, so I don't really complain about that. And what else? Yeah, it's almost
so you almost had like a soccer team at home.
Literally, like a soccer team, yeah.
So how was your childhood with your other siblings? Like how did you grow up? Like the games that you played or your schooling?
Yeah, I think growing up was pretty fun because I still, sometimes when I sit, I remember like all the things that we did, the conversation, the conflict. I'm like, oh, that's mine, you know, like when you grow up and you think about it, it's a fun experience. And
you miss it?
I miss it sometimes, but it's also like, I also saw them leaving the house one by one, you know, like I was like to go to school and to create their own life. But at first, like, okay, we're that much in the family. It's a big house, always noisy. And then after 3-4 years, I'm like, oh, now one person has left, other person has left, and then I left when I was 15.
So as you say that, you know, your siblings kept leaving you.
Yeah.
I mean, so where are they right now, and how has it been for them? Do you guys meet anytime?
Well, I haven't met any of my family members in 8 years. Like, no nephew, uncle, cousin. I haven't met
at all?
None of them.
So you did not go back to Congo?
I haven't gone back home.
Okay.
So, but half of my siblings are in Paris, and the other half are in Congo, and my parents are in Congo.
Wow, yeah. That is something. So, do you keep in touch with them? How do you keep in touch with them?
We usually FaceTime, WhatsApp. Like WhatsApp is like the mainstream for like, I would say, other international people. So yeah, FaceTime, WhatsApp, that's what we use the most. We call each other, and then like we take like care of each other that way. Yeah.
That's good. So after that, you said you moved to France. How was the transition like, and what was the day when you just thought, I need to go out?
I didn't really plan on moving out. It was more like the opportunity was there. And then go. So I went to France for like a training, like it was a school training. So there was like this application at my school, because my school in Congo was a French school already. So it was already affiliated with the school in France. They were like, oh, you want to apply for it? So I applied for it, and then I got it, and I moved to France. I'm like, oh yeah, you know what? I was not ready, but the opportunity is there. So I was excited because it's like my first time moving to a country so far. I'm like, okay. I enjoyed France, and then I moved back home. So that's how my friends.
So, sorry to interrupt, but as you say that your friends told you about the school, you applied to it, and you immediately went there. So, how much was the duration? Was it like just a few months' time, or was it like a year's time when you had the time to plan to move there?
Like my duration in France?
No, from Congo to France.
Oh, from Congo to France?
Like the day your friend told you that, okay, you can apply to this university, and you probably applied to the university or the school.
Yeah.
And then you got the reply and you went there.
Yeah.
So how much was the time, and what was going on in that time?
Well, the time frame was 3 months. So after I applied, I had to wait for 3 months for them to reply. And during that time, I feel like I was more excited. I was already seeing myself going, you know. I'm like, okay, if I get it, I'm going to France, Paris, the Eiffel Tower, and everything like that. So I was excited. I was like, I hope I get it. I hope I get it. So this whole time. And then when I moved, once they made the decision that I was the one selected, I was extremely happy. I'm like, okay, I get a chance to leave. But the other things that I didn't realize is that after leaving, I kind of like missed home a lot, you know, even though it was only for 1 year, I was like, yeah, I want to go home, you know, like how do you say in English? Homesick, being homesick, it was hitting me a lot. Yeah.
I see. So, when you moved to France,
Mhm.
were you like scared, like in the flight going there? Because maybe you did not have anyone there, probably your elder siblings were there,
Yeah.
but then you still were all by yourself over there.
Yeah. It was
So,
scary. Like traveling was scary because I'm like, I was 15. I'm like, okay. And two big suitcases. I didn't know like the transition from other countries because my flight was not a direct flight. I had to go to another country, and that was like Ethiopia, and they speak English over there. You know, like the communication was done in English. I was like, okay, I don't speak English. How do I know where to go for my terminal, like, and then get the plane to go to France? You know, the transition was a bit scary to me.
Okay.
So the traveling part, once I arrived in Ethiopia, was like that when I was freaking out. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. If I miss my flight, what the process? And keep in mind that I was like 15. I was
Yeah, you were
very young.
15 years old,
Yeah,
and you
that's very
traveled
young.
alone
Yeah,
across a continent.
yeah. I was scared at that time. And then once I figured it out and landed to Paris, I was like, okay, now I can speak French again. I understand the communication. I can ask where to go and everything like that.
So, you had mentioned it earlier before we started recording this that your first language is French.
Yeah.
How is that? Like, so do you have a native language in Congo, and why is that not your first language?
Yeah, okay. So in Congo, we have a lot of tribes, and each tribe has its own language. And then there's also like a common language that every Congolese speak, which is Lingala. Lingala is like the national language of the country.
Oh.
So you don't really learn it at school. Like school is not taught in Lingala, anything like that. It's more like the country, the culture of the country. And then your tribe, the language from your tribe, where you're from, your parents usually are the one who teach you that, you know. I'm from, my dad is Mboshi, it's one of the tribe in Congo, and my mother is Mbeti. So they speak two different languages, but there is Lingala, which is like a common language that every Congolese speak.
Oh, it's like my country as well. We have a common language that is Hindi, that most of the country in India, most of the parts in India, they actually speak that language. Not all parts speak it, but then it's a language that most of the people understand. But regionally, there are very different languages.
Yeah, that's kind of the same thing in Congo. And then because we were colonized by the French, so all the education, the profession, and everything that is like communication has to be done in French. So like when you go to school is in French, you get a job, everything has to be done in French. Like that's how we speak French. So French is like one of our first national language. So if you're born in Congo, you will speak French like at home and everywhere. Yeah.
So that would have been a little easier for you, right?
Yeah.
Because you moved to Paris, France.
Yeah.
So you already knew the French language. So did you feel at home a little bit over there because everyone was speaking the language that you spoke?
Yeah, it definitely made it easier for me to integrate into the culture and the country because I'm like, okay, the communication part, I got it. Like I can understand you, you can understand me. I feel like it was just a bit, the hard part for me was like the culture, like just the culture transition from home to France. It's still another country. They have their own way of living. So I just getting adjusted to that. That was the bigger difference.
And how long did you live in France, and what you exactly did in France for that duration?
I was there for only 1 year, and it was just for a school training. So it was more like, let's say I was studying biology, you know, and then you apply for this program. Or you go to France for 1 year to do a biology research, you know. That was kind of the same thing. That was kind of what I applied for to go to France. Yeah.
Okay. So it was like getting you prepared for the bachelor's degree, probably?
For my bachelor degree, something like that.
Okay. Interesting. So after that, you moved to?
After that, I moved to the UK.
Okay.
So moving to the UK, there's this school program called UWC. So I apply. It's an organization that recruit different students from around the world, and then they put them in one school. And there's like 17 UWC school around the world, you know. So it's like each school has more than close to 100 different countries, nationalities in the school.
Wow.
So I went to the school. I was the only Congolese, and everybody was like from different countries. I'm like, I've never been around this many people from different nationalities. So
Mhm.
I didn't know any English. So the program was like, you don't need to know English. You will learn English while you're in school. That's one of the biggest aspect of UWC schools, you know. So I was not the only one who didn't know how to communicate in English. There was like an Indian who didn't know English. There was a Chinese who didn't know any English. So we were just like there. Now the school is like don't learn into the culture like that. I was like, it was good and hard at the same time. Yeah.
So you, as you said that there were people from 100 different countries
Yeah.
over there. So how many did you interact with? How many are you still in touch with? And how different was it like for you to get out of your comfort zone and talk to them,
Yeah.
because they did not know your language.
Yeah.
You all were learning the same language,
Yeah.
common language, that was English.
Yeah. That's
How did
true.
you communicate, and how was it like living over there?
At first, when I arrived there, I just wanted to be around the French speaker. You know, if I know you from a country that speak French, for me, that was like, okay, I'm going to talk to you. But the school itself, the program, the way the school is programmed, they will make you talk to other people, you know, to people from other countries. They can be like a workshop. They're like, oh, in the workshop, Jojo is going to be with a student from, let's say, from Russia. And then some people knew the English language already. Some people didn't. Me, I didn't. So sometimes the Russian student know the English language. And then there was another student who's from, let's say, what country can I say? It's from Ivory Coast. And Ivory Coast, they speak French too. But now we all have to speak in English because the school is in English.
Yeah.
Okay, now we have to find words. It become difficult. I was like, but that's how you learn a new language. I feel like that made it easier for me to learn English because at the end of 3 months at the school, I was like, okay, I can communicate because I have to communicate. It's the only way for me to go through school and understand. So yeah, I was just doing. So that school was for my IB, International Baccalaureate. That's why I was there.
Okay. So how was your accommodation over there? Also, did you get time to go out of the school, explore the country, talk to the locals over there? And how different was that country, like architecturally, in terms of the people, compared to Congo and France?
Well, I keep like this. This is something that I always say. It's the best school I've ever been to. If I have to go back, I go back. Wow. So basically, the architecture first. It's a castle. Like I was living in the castle. The castle. You know Harry Potter.
Harry Potter?
Yeah.
That
way.
Yeah.
That
castle.
way.
Wow, that was the school?
Yeah, that's the school.
I can imagine you being at Hogwarts.
I know. I was like, the school, I'm like, that's where Harry Potter was filmed. They're like, yeah, this is the cafeteria. I'm like, you lying. And then I went to watch the movie. I'm like, okay, the cafeteria. I'm like, it
was the very same castle?
It's the same castle.
Wow.
Where they filmed Harry Potter.
That is something.
That's the castle. So it's the same castle. I was like, damn. I was like, at that time, I was like, okay, let me learn more about the school. So the architecture, you can already see the historical aspect. You live in a castle. I'm like, I would have never thought that I would live in a castle, you know?
That is surreal. Did you have like the houses like there were in Harry Potter, like Slytherin, Gryffindor?
No, the housing, I feel like they come up with it. But the bigger buildings, it's like, that's the school, you know? Because I know sometimes they were also like shooting different movies around the school. So they're like, okay, if you want to go to class, go around the castle, don't go by the main entrance because they are like shooting a movie. And you can see them like building the housing, like that you can build easily and remove easily. So sometimes the housing, they were not the same. But within the castle, there were like housing, like bedrooms, bathroom, and everything like that. I'm like, oh, if you explore the castle, you'd be like, that's actually like a movie scene, you know?
I bet it was.
I was too excited to be there. It's like a movie scene. And then, in terms of, what was the other question? Sorry? Apart from the architecture, what was the other question?
The people. And how it was different from Congo and
Well, I think the people, it was nice. I actually enjoyed being with a lot of different nationalities, and because I got to learn more about the countries. There were countries that I never heard about. I was like, okay, this is your country. Oh, it sounds good. I want to visit. And the school was programmed in a way that every country celebration, we celebrated. So I got to learn like, okay, this is what they do in this country, in this country, in this country, and learn about the food and everything like that. So it was obviously different from Congo because I grew up with one or two culture, my Congolese culture and the French culture. And then over there, you are exposed to like the entire world. So when it comes to the people, everybody was different, obviously, but we find a common ground where we can all communicate. And like the British people in general, I feel like they're very nice. I had a good experience with them. Some people didn't, some people did, but the way you go in like life, you have a different experience with everybody, like just in general, I had a good experience with them. So like UK is a beautiful place that I would like to visit. I cannot complain about it. Yeah.
I have a part of my family over there. I surely will visit it someday.
Yeah, you
and
should.
I'm sure it will be as good as you are describing it to me.
Nice, yeah.
So, as you said, you and your friends over there, you're from different countries, and like you guys came from a different culture, but then you came to a common ground and made harmony with each other, like lived in harmony with each other.
Yeah.
So, is it correct to say that you guys made a culture of your own?
Yeah, I would say that. Because the school is like, I would say, yeah, definitely we made a culture of our own, so where we can all understand each other and like agree to disagree on stuff and like know everybody's point of view. So like, there's this say that also say that basically it says the UWC culture. Like everybody who went to UWC school can tell you like there's a UWC culture, which is like us creating our own culture where we can all understand.
That's wonderful.
Because the big goal of UWC is like integrating everybody from each country and work together. So that's why when I left UWC, I was like, the school that I'm gonna go, it's gonna be an international school. So since then, I've been to international school with international students because I feel like for me it creates in me a way of thinking that is like more broader than if I stay within one culture. I always want to be around people from different cultures now because of what I've been introduced to in the UK.
So if you look at the life at UK and France, and you look back at the life in Congo, how people used to live there, what differences do you see? And like you also tell me about how Congo, like the people in Congo are living, like their culture, and how different was it in UK plus France?
Yeah.
And what were the struggles for you, I guess?
Yeah. So I'll say first of all, in Congo, the way people live, people are very much laid back. That's your house. You can do whatever you want, and that's my house. I do whatever I want. But they're also very welcoming. If you need something, like feel free to go ask for help or like go knock at this door. They will like receive you with open arms, and that's very nice. That's something that I very much like. And then when I moved to France, people in France are more like in a hurry, kind of like America, I would say.
The New York life?
Yeah, kind of like the New York life. It's like, I'm in a rush. I got to go somewhere. I don't have time to help you. That's how France is. I don't know why, but I didn't really like it because I'm, as I told you, I'm like someone who likes to be around new cultures and learn more about them and get the time to communicate. But in France, it's like, okay, you need to learn it on your own. I don't have time to teach you. And then in the UK, because I was around international people a lot, so that was my favorite part. And the challenges over there were more like the communication part. If we both don't speak English, it was challenging. At the same time, it was fun because we both look at each other and smile. I was like, I don't understand. Like, we knew what I don't understand means. So like, you speak something, I'm like, I don't understand. I say something that I don't understand, and we just start laughing. And we're like, okay, I know what don't understand mean. I know what that means, But it was fun. And then we Google, we learn, we teach each other, okay, if you want to do this, you say it like that. Oh, you say it like that. We kind of like build each other up from scratch in UWC. So
that's amazing. And you were just 17 or 18 at that time?
At that time, I was 16.
Oh.
So from 15 to 16, I was in Paris. So from 16 all the way to 18, I was in the UK.
Oh,
and then 18 until now, I'm in America.
That's fascinating. I mean, I cannot fathom that because I myself lived in my country, in India, for like 24 years. And my 25th birthday was over here, but then it was like a couple of months before my birthday when I came here. So it was like 25 years in India. And then since the past 2.5 years, I'm here. And I really do miss it.
I do miss it sometimes. Yeah. At first I think the beginning was the harder part. You know, when I lived from Congo to France, I was like, okay, I'm homesick. At that time, it was hitting a lot. And then when I went to the UK, now I'm new to everything. I don't speak the
Correct.
language. I don't know anyone. Like, I don't know how to communicate. That was even harder for me because I'm like, okay, I'm very, very much homesick right now. I want to leave. I want to give up on everything and go back home. But there was like something in my mind, like that's an opportunity, you know, learn the language, like learn new countries and everything like that. And I feel like I just kept on pushing, and now I'm here speaking English and Spanish and other languages and everything like that.
That's wonderful. So, as you said, like from UK, you came here then.
Yeah.
So, uh, how was the transition like? Like again, when was the day when you decided that I want to switch places? I want to go to the United States and continue my life over there.
I didn't really have like a country in mind, but after my first year in the UK, there was this thing that we call university fairs. Yeah, there were a ton of universities that came to my school in UWC. They were like, "Oh, you can come to my school if you have this, if you're eligible for it." You know, I'm like, "Okay, what next for me?" Obviously, I was like, "Okay, after my IB, I want to go to undergrad school, you know, okay. I looked at the schools. I'm like, I don't care where it is as long as it's in a new place because I want to move to another country, which is like to learn about the culture. And I'm like, America has had a lot of schools, a ton of university from America came to my school. And I was like, okay, there's this. And I just applied. So that was like a year before my graduation at that time. So I guess at that time, that's when I decided that I'm going to move to another country.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, obviously I wanted to stay in the UK, but when you apply to school, you have to see both, like the scholarship you can afford and everything. And then the one in America was more like suitable with me.
Correct. And what university did you come to in the United States, and what did you
Um,
study?
I went to the College of Idaho. It's another liberal arts school, international schools. I met a lot of UWC students over there, like
That's
ton of
wonderful.
them, but from like different countries. I was the only one from my UWC, like from the UK. And the other ones were coming from Italy. The other one were coming from like America. There was one UWC in the US. Like there was one in India. So they were coming from all the places. I'm like, oh, look at us, a whole UWC family again. Even though we study different places, we know how it goes because it's the same system in every country as long as you go to an UWC school.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just kind of bonded like over there. And yeah, that's how.
Wow. So, did you see another cultural change when you shifted from UK to the United States?
Yeah, a big change. Because over there, the majority was international students in the UK. And then when I moved here, the majority in my school were like Americans. Obviously, I got exposed to the American culture, what is it and how it is. I would say it's good and bad. I cannot really say it's bad. I cannot say it's good. I'm like in the middle when it comes to American culture.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like because America is so big, the experience that you're gonna have is different in every state.
That's true. It's a
So
different country
state,
in itself.
yeah, like if you live in one state and you're like, okay, America is bad, you might, if when you move to another state, you might like the state and you're gonna be like, okay, America is good. So it's like a different experience everywhere. So I'm like, I'm in the middle. I'm not gonna say America is bad or it's good. I'm like, depending on where I live, that's how I'm gonna feel.
Mm.
Yeah. But when I was in Idaho, I had a great experience. So for me, at that time, I was like, okay, it's good. I like America. I can survive. I know how to deal with things. I know what to do every day. Yeah.
So, you went from place to place, and then you came to Idaho, and currently you are in Philadelphia.
Now I'm in Philadelphia.
So, did you just carry those 2 bags around the world, the same 2 bags, like pack stuff in, pack stuff out, and then live here for some time and then shift? So it was like just those 2 bags that are your constant friend, as I can say.
I know that's another thing. Like, okay, moving from Congo to Paris to the UK was the 2 bags. And then moving from the UK to America, I had more than 2 bags. I was like, okay, what do I do? At that time, I was like, you know what? Let me just get rid of stuff. So I just got rid of some stuff and brought the 2 bags here, Obviously, with
The
new
same
things.
2 bags?
The 2 bags, but with new things.
Okay.
I removed the old one. Because I'm also growing, the height, the body shape. I was like, okay, the old one, remove, the new one we keep. Go on with it. But still 2 bags. And then, so I moved in America with 2 bags. And then the bigger transition was moving from Idaho to Philadelphia, because I spent 5 years in Idaho, which is like the most I've been in a place. I'm like 5 years. I had an apartment. I had like a sofa and everything for the apartment, and I had more than 2 bags. I had like 6 suitcases already. Because plus modeling, you keep on gathering clothes and new things. I'm like, that was a lot. And so the moving from Idaho to Philadelphia was the biggest struggle in terms of bags.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, I cannot take 10 bags with me.
Correct.
What can I carry? Because I was like, okay, let me just get rid of some stuff. So I got rid of some stuff. I ended up moving with 5 bags to Philadelphia. I'm like, that's the least I can do. Let me at least carry 5 bags. I feel like if I was moving to another country, I would have moved with 2 bags again, because I'm like, I can restart everything from there. But I'm like, Philadelphia in Idaho is still America. It's still the same country. Let me just move with 5 bags. That's doable.
So do you have some things that you actually probably took as a memory from Congo, from France, and from UK, and now you have it currently with you? Are there some precious things, and could you talk about those things?
I do have some precious stuff that I kept on carrying for the rest of my life since I left home. Like, for example, there's a mug that I had since I left home, like when I was 15. It's still with me even now. I'm like, okay, this is my mug from home. And some like utensil, like fork and spoon. I remember me packing it from Congo, and then until now, it's still with me. And then obviously, I also have some stuff from France and the UK, because the UK, I did a lot in the UK. I have like the flag of my school, some like awards that I got from there, some stuff. Sometime when we went out, we buy a souvenir, and I kept it with me. It's still with me. And there's like a teddy bear that I kept with me, that I got from Idaho. I'm like, oh yeah, that's my Idaho souvenir everywhere I go. So I can count like those stuff. I got it from there until now. I'm still traveling with those stuff. Yeah.
Those stuff definitely would take you down the memory lane.
Yeah, it does. All the stuff. It does.
Right. So, I would also like to talk about your fashion career, like your career in being a fashion model. Where did it start, and how did it start? When did you just come to know, okay, probably I want to try this out?
Yeah. Okay, so my Congo is known for fashion. There's this term called sapology. It's like a fashion expression that Congolese use every time they dress up. So in my country, I was already introduced to the fashion world, and I always kept telling my mind that I'm gonna like be into the fashion, but I didn't know how. I'm like, oh, I want to be in fashion, like the random thought. And then when I went to the UK, there was stuff like the school was doing a lot of fashion show. When it comes to culture, we're celebrating India, we're gonna have a fashion show, and then we're celebrating like Ukraine, we're gonna have a fashion show. We're celebrating this country, we're gonna have a fashion show. I was like, okay, and I was always taking part in the fashion show. I was like, oh yeah, I wanna wear your clothes. I wanna wear your clothes. I wanna wear that clothes. I wanna wear. I was always like, okay, the different in style of clothing, I was already interested in it. So I was very much involved in it when I was in the UK. And then from my second year, I was like, you know what? I think I want to do modeling, But because fashion is so big, even modeling is so big. There's different type of modeling. There's like, how do you say it? Magazine models, this type of model. For me, I wanted to be a runway model. So I wear the clothes and I show it on the carpet. So I think that's how I got introduced to it. So I was already wearing clothes from different countries, from different people. I like it. I like the idea. I like the feeling. And that's what kind of like my first step into the modeling world. And then from there, I started going to casting, because I was already tall too. I started going to casting and everything like that. And my body shape was like, the fashion industry right now, it's like, you need to be thin. So at that time, I was like thinner than now, because America ate a lot here. But anyway, I started going to casting. They were like, oh yeah, you can model for us. There's a fashion shoot this day. I was like, I'm liking it. It's a very hard and time consuming, and it's not as easy as people think. It's very hard. But if you like something, like the challenges, you're not really going to focus on it. So because I liked it so much, I'm like, it's just a challenge. I'm still going to do it. So until now, I'm still doing it.
did France and Paris have some influence on you becoming like tilted towards fashion as well? Because it's kind of like the hub of like the expensive brands around the
Yeah,
world.
true. I'll say France, not really. When I was in France, I was still thinking like in Congo, I was like, I want to be in the fashion world, but I don't know why. I don't know how. It was just in my mind again, just question, how do I get there? How do I get there? But in the UK, it really introduced me into it. I was like, okay, I put my foot in it and I was like, okay, that's how it is. So I would say everything started when I was in the UK.
Okay. And you spoke about like being a magazine model and different types of model, and you wanted to be a runway model.
Yeah.
A runway.
A runway model.
Yeah, a runway model.
Yeah.
So, can you like define the term in like very simple words, because I don't know what a runway model is.
So a runway model, it's basically someone who's gonna represent a designer collection or clothes during a fashion show, fashion week, and everything like that. So, like editorial models, people usually use them. People who are like good faith, facial feature, and everything like that, just for pictures for magazines. Like, let's say I'm launching a makeup brand. I need like some editorial model because your face is gonna be in it, and then for the magazine and everything like that. And some models do all of that because it kind of like interrelated with like with each within the world, within the area. But the runway mostly focuses on like you being tall, having a good body shape, good height, and a good posture. And then because when you wear that clothes, when you work out, people are supposed to be like, I want to buy it.
Correct.
You are kind of the clothes yourself too, like, because you're representing it, like, I want to buy it.
So you are like in the marketing team, like, if you can don it well, then people will buy it.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
if you don't, then people might not.
Yeah.
So it all depends on how you walk in that 1 minute.
Yeah, in that 1 minute frame, like it's a lot. Like the way you're standing, your posture, the way you're posing, the way you are working with the clothes, people can buy it like on the spot. So your job is very, very important at that time because you're representing the entire brand. But if you don't represent it properly, everybody's gonna be like, okay, oh, this brand is bad. Look at the model, because when they're gonna give a review, they're gonna put the model with the clothes on it. Oh, it doesn't look good. Why? The model didn't represent it good. Now they're blaming the brand. Now the brand is blaming you because you didn't represent it properly. So yeah. So like every clothes that people wear, the runway model wear it first, and then they do the fashion show, and then people are like, yeah, I'm gonna buy it.
So did you work with like some good brands or some good fashion designers that you have like a memorable time with?
Yeah, I definitely did work with some good brands. It was very diverse because the brand was not only focused on like runway modeling. It was more like they needed an editorial model. They needed like this type of model. So I did like an editorial campaign with Sony, the Sony company, Sony Electronic. That was actually like 2 years ago. So they reached out to me. They were like, "Oh, we're coming to Idaho. We saw your profile on Instagram, because your Instagram is like your resume. If you're like a model, your Instagram is your resume. We saw your profile and we want you to be one of the model." I was like, "Yeah, but I'm a runway model." They're like, "Yeah, it's fine. Like, we saw your face and everything like that. We feel like you can represent the clothes and the electronic, because it's an electronic company." So yeah, they flew me to somewhere in Idaho, like in Salt Lake. No, not Salt Lake. I even forgot the town, but a town in Idaho. Yeah, I moved there, and everything was booked and everything like that. The place, the food, the location, the transport, everything was like, I just had to be there,
Did you feel like a celebrity at that?
Yeah, I think I kind of got used to it and no at the same time. But Sony is a big company, so everything was like higher level. I'm like, wow, that's like another step. And the work was from 6 a.m. to like 8 p.m. So that's a lot.
Oh wow!
Yeah, 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. modeling the whole time. I was like, at the end of the day, you're just like, oh, you're tired, your feet are hurting. That's what I'm saying. It's not that easy because you need to come up with the perfect product like they can put on their website. So I was modeling the the new phone, the Xperia, Sony Xperia. I don't know if it's out yet. I don't really use Sony. I was just there for modeling. So I was modeling for the new campaign. So I had to use the phone, wear certain type of clothing and everything like that. And also the headphones. And then you also like the best pictures, they put it on the website. And that's one of the biggest campaigns I've done. And another campaign I did was Idaho Fashion Week. There was a fashion week. People from LA came to Idaho to organize the fashion week. I was one of the models, and I worked for Macy's. I worked for Macy's, so I was wearing the new clothing, and then they were like, okay, now to the runway. And I met a lot of people. And during the Sony campaign, I met so many photographers from around the world. So, because like 200 photographers were there. Sony electronic photographers, and I worked with one of the Vogue photographers. He was like, "Yeah, I work for Vogue. I need to take pictures of you."
That's great.
Yeah, because all the photographers are there, and the models are like aligned, and the photographer pick his model to shoot the picture for the campaign. Because the photographers, they're also in the competition. They need to produce the best picture that's gonna go on the website. And us now, we have to produce the best look. And we have to give the best impression for the photographer to take the picture and to go on the website. So it was like each of us had their own job to do, and we have to be perfect. So the photographer picked me. They're like, "Oh, I want you to be my model for the campaign." Like, so it was like 4 days. I'm like, okay, 8 to 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. taking pictures.
So it's like 14 hours of constantly trying to look good.
Yeah. Moving to
trying to appeal people.
Literally, we went to the mountain, we took the picture, We went down, went to the forest. Like, okay, we need the perfect thing.
So it was also an adventure along with.
Yeah, it was an adventure. Yeah, it was not one place.
Because it was like a hike going up the mountain.
Yeah, exactly. And we drove some places, picture in the car, in the pool, like everywhere was a place for picture. Like we need to create the best content for the company. Because when people see the ads, they're like, "Oh, I love this." That we did the work behind the ad. I'm like, okay, so this is how it goes before it goes on TV. So I was in the area before the TV, and I saw it. I was like, "There you go. That's a hard work, you know. It's a hard job." Yeah.
So when you were in these studios and going outdoors shooting and everything, how were the setups? Like, they were like too many people working on it? Were there like 5 or 10 people working on it with you?
Well, it was definitely busy because they rented like a whole, how do you call it? They rented the whole town. So the whole town, you know, everybody that is here, it's a photographer or a model.
Really?
So like that person is taking his picture, that person is taking his picture. So you cannot shy, but not shy at the same time because, you know, you need the job. Like that person is doing it, you gotta do your part too, you know. So like
and in this big town, sorry to cut you, but and in this big town, how did you manage to actually stand out from the crowd?
That's the thing. You gotta stand out. That was the bigger part, because when you stand out, another photographer could see you and want to take picture with you. So the more the photographer you have, the better you can feel, I would say, because you know you're doing your job right. You know. So basically, you have to come up with different poses all the time. You pose like this, you pose like this, you do something, you like take the risk, do something that you think you will never do in front of the camera. Like you do that crazy thing. The photographer sees it, he's like, "Can you come to me like after 2 hours, let's try something else." It gives you another outfit. Now you're trying something crazy again. You go another person, or you're trying something crazy again. So it's like constantly coming up with a new body posture, new angle, new way of like representing the brand, the clothes, the headphones, the phone, like everything that is new, catchy, someone else might like it. So like you should not feel like, what I realized is that you should not ever feel like ashamed of like trying something new when you're modeling. Like just do that crazy thing. Someone else gonna see it, and you want that visibility for that person to take you.
You love the attention that you got over there.
It's like you're not seeking for attention, at the same time you need that to create the attention for someone else to take you. Because if you're just so bland and like neutral, the photographer is not going to take you, because as a photographer, you want something catchy. Like he wants to photograph something that is unique. Like you have to think in his head too, like, what does this photographer is looking for? What is he looking for? Is he looking for something crazy? So you're creating the crazy stuff, and he's like, "Yeah, I want you." You know, so you're kind of creating the attention for the photographer to see. Yeah.
Did you connect with a lot of photographers that with whom you were able to work again?
Yeah, I did connect with one that is called Ovek. He travels a lot. I think he stayed in New York. He was one of the best photographers that I met
Mhm.
because at that time they dressed me up like and with clothes from like Asian tradition,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, I'm loving it. So I was loving it so much. I was doing so much during the shoot. I'm gonna create new thing. I'm gonna go do crazy stuff. And he was like, he saw me. He was like, see you at night. So I was booked with him for the night. I was like, okay, let's see you at night. He was like, I really like the look. Let's redo it. I will be the
Uh-huh.
one taking the pictures. So he kept on taking pictures. I was like, okay, this is nice. This is nice. So that's how I caught his attention from working with someone else, you know.
So, would you say that Sony was your first big break?
The big, it was the biggest, that's for sure. Like out of all of them, Sony was the biggest. Yeah.
So it was like the first.
The first big, I would say the first big, yeah.
Okay, okay.
The other one,
So
yeah,
that,
now they're small.
so that
The other
kept
one,
the ball rolling.
yeah, somehow.
Okay.
And it gave me even more confidence to like try to be like an editorial model for campaigns. But my main focus is still runway. I still like the runway because the clothes is wearing people clothes is more like what I like to do. But I'm also okay with like diving, testing like other type of modeling area that are there.
I see. I see. All right. So, what, like, I would actually like to know more about your inspiration, something that keeps you going. Like, who motivates you? Is there an idol figure that you look up to, like a mentor, or just, like, a celebrity, maybe? Like, you like you like the celebrity's personality, and they kind of inspire your way of life, the way you want to be, and
Yeah.
everything.
I would say there's one person I've been following him for the longest time because he was first like an artist, like he was a singer, he was doing music, but at the same time, and then he moved to modeling. His name is Alton Mason, so it's like I keep on looking into him. I want to look like him. I know it's like my Delulu face in my head. You know, I'm like, okay, if there's someone that I have to be exactly like, it's Alton Mason. He's a very nice model. And I really want to meet him one day. Like if you even see my page and his page, you can see the copy part. I'm literally copying a lot of things that he does, and including adding my own personality in it. And he really pushed me in to be a better model and a better person in life because he's doing like modeling, and on the other side he's doing like something professional, something else that he likes. You know, like there's me, I'm doing modeling. And on the other side, I'm also like public health student, you know, like two different things. But I'm like, I want to make it work. I want to make it go hand in hand. I will make it one day. I don't have to focus on the other one and leave the other one. I can focus on both. It's going to work for me. So I feel like he motivates me a lot in terms of like keep following my goals and everything like that.
That's wonderful. And as you mentioned right now that you are doing modeling, so much of it, and along with that, you are also doing public health, which is like
it's a whole other thing.
a world apart.
Yeah.
So I don't know what made you go into public health.
I've always been passionate about health. So growing up at school, I was always good in health classes, biology classes, science classes. That was my thing. So I already knew I was going to be in the health field, you know. And then my undergrad was in pre-med in biomedical sciences. I was still med because that's the only thing I could understand. I didn't want to be into politics. I don't understand politics, economy. I don't know anything about economy. Like it didn't like start something in myself. But health was like a big thing for me. I'm like, I want to help people. That was my thing. I want to help people. And then in public health, we help people in a broader way, like as a group, you know, okay, I can help this entire group of people to be healthy. That's why I followed public health. So it kind of like, it's also like, public health, it's like, a dream of me when I was young already. I'm just continuing my dream. Same with modeling. When I was already thinking about it, I'm just like continuing in the same path.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you see yourself juggling both these things together moving forward? And how more deep would you like to go into both these fields?
I'll say it's challenging, mostly now because I'm doing a master and I'm like, okay, the modeling, it's also big because I moved to like the East Coast of America there's a lot of modeling opportunities. So I'm like, okay, both of these fields are intense right now. Which one should I focus on? I can definitely tell you that there are times where I focus more on this and focus less on this and focus more on modeling and focus less on public health. So I just have to like find the balance sometimes because right now I feel like I cannot focus on both at the same intensity. So I just time to times I like switch. Like for example, on weekends, I'm focusing a lot on the modeling path. I create a lot of content. I go to castings. I do a lot of modeling things. And during my weekday, I am more focused on the school stuff. So every time that I get, I'm like, okay, try to finish the school stuff. On the weekend, you're free. Finish the school stuff. Finish the school stuff. Friday night, I'm done with my assignment for the weekend. Now I know the weekend is open. I can go for modeling as long as it's the day. Yeah.
So modeling is like your way out of the stressful studies that you do?
Yeah. Kind of.
Okay.
It's kind of like my way out of like.
It's kind of like your meditation, like stress relief.
Some people are like, oh, when I'm stressed, I go to the gym. I walk. I also go to the gym, but it's not the same. It doesn't provide me the same calmness as modeling. You know, some people they're like, I play video game or I go play soccer. For me, it's like, nah, I need the weekend to come so I can do my modeling.
You play soccer?
I used to play soccer, but I don't find the same joy as I do with modeling, you know? Because I'm like, what is that one thing that keeps you calm, you know? Like for me, it's going to be modeling.
Okay.
Like for you, it can be soccer, you know?
It could be
different. It could be. It's just an example.
I love playing soccer for sure. Yeah. Yes. I mean, I am grateful that I found some people over here that I do play with sometimes. But initially, for 1.5 years, I did not find anyone to play with, and I missed it so much. I was like, I need to go out and play, but I cannot play with the ball myself. I can, but it would just it won't be that fun as it is playing with other people.
Yeah.
And now that I get the opportunity to do that with people, I feel really good about it.
That's good.
Yeah. So among all these things that you said, like, you know, it's a lot to do. Public health, it's a lot to do. Modeling along with it. It's also a new country. It's also a new place that you have been. It's like 6 months you've been over here?
Yeah, 6 months.
6 months in Philadelphia. So it's like a new country again from Idaho.
True.
So amongst all this, how do you try to stay connected to your roots? Like your own culture, your own people, or just, you know, whenever there might be festivals in Congo. So when do you feel like, do you even feel like homesick? You just feel like, oh, I wish I was there for this festival or this event?
Well, obviously I'm not home, so definitely I feel sad when those type of event happen. And I haven't been to like the Congo Brazzaville event since I left home. It's more for like event that are celebrating the other Congo. But because we have a lot of similarities, so I go to those events just to feel like I know my roots are still there, I'm still involved, you know. So I just like, for me to stay connected to my roots is by just more attending events where Africans are there, more, let's say, going out with Africans, talking to Africans, and like the food, we have a lot of similarities, the music and everything like that. I feel like just being connected around the African community, for me, is like a way to be connected, still connected with my roots.
I see. So as you talk about the African community over here, when you actually visit like the community events or the restaurants, the Ethiopian restaurants, I've been to one, but I couldn't eat there because they were not serving food that day. It was just drinks for that day. I couldn't eat there, but then I know there are a lot of restaurants around, and there are different cuisines as well. So do you feel a sense of home over there?
Yeah, somehow, as I told you, that's the only way for me to get connected to my roots. Because I feel like I definitely feel like more at home when I'm around like the African culture, because that's what I grew up around with. Even though Congo is its own country, it's still in Africa, which means there are a few common things that we all know, we all do. So for me, I would say it's still a way for me to connect. Like I feel at home when I'm around in that community. Yeah.
I see. Also, we have been a part of this community as well,
Yeah.
which is called Global Connect.
Yeah.
Uh, so, like Global Connect is a community built around international students
Yeah.
and graduates like us who
Yeah.
come from different countries and try to feel at home,
Yeah.
try to find friends, try to make their own tribe over here. How do you actually feel coming at Global Connect events, the Friday night discussion groups, and also how did you find out about it?
Well, I found out about Global Connect before moving here. I was texting Todd. I was like, is there like anything for international students? Because with related with church, because in Idaho there was a program, a church program that helped international students who we meet. I wanted to check if there was something similar here, and then Todd was like, yeah, there's this thing, Global Connect, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna come. So. But from coming to Global Connect every Friday, I feel like I found a kind of a sense of like home over there too, because the people are very nice. I feel connected and I learn a lot every time, every Friday. And I'm always talking a lot on Fridays. I feel like it's one of the days where I'm like, okay, the week is done, Friday night, Global Connect, then I go home and sleep. So Global Connect is another way for me to relax. Like, forget about everything that is happening in the world. Go there, be around the people, the international community, learn about the culture, and just feel like it kind of makes me less worried and less alone because I know we're all from different places in the world, and we like again as a UWC creating a culture in Global Connect that where all of us can be in and embrace and feel welcome.
You feel like it's a relay race where you're first in
UWC.
UWC, and from there you went to Idaho. But
Yeah.
I guess you were a part of some community over there,
Yeah.
and then you're now at Global Connect, like
Yeah.
passing on the baton
Yeah.
to from one community to
To
other.
another one. Yeah. I feel like it's good. I'm still learning everywhere. And it's kind of like the same thing is following me. I'm always around the international community, and I feel that's something that I like. That's why I contacted Todd. I'm like, is there like an international thing? I want to be around again. I don't wanna be missed out in that community. Like I don't wanna miss it out. I'm like, because coming here, I didn't know if there was any, so I'm like, okay, let me do my research. And then there was one. I'm like, okay, that experience, I'm still carrying it around. It's still there, so I'm good.
So in the past 8 years that you have been moving places, meeting new people, I'm sure you've met like a ton of people, more than I have. Like it's been like 2.5 years for me meeting so many international people.
Yeah.
But for you, I guess it's like 8 years
been
for
like
sure.
every year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what are some things that you learned on the way that you would want to talk about? Like, this is something that I learned as an immigrant, and this is how the life of an immigrant is like.
Yeah. So, like, something that I would like to learn about other countries.
Something that you already learned, like in your journey. As you said, you like being around new people.
Oh, okay.
You like
yeah.
You like new experiences, everything adventurous, and something new that just
that I
keeps you
learned
going.
on the way.
Yeah, that you learned on the way, and some life lessons.
Some life lesson. Some life lesson that I've learned on the way as from moving places to places, I would say is like to grab the opportunity. Like that's very big. Because sometimes I felt kind of scared of moving to a new place because I'm of this fear of like not belonging or like being tired of like moving because you just want to give up. I'm like, if there's an opportunity for you to move, just do it because you already left your country. I'm
Correct.
like, you don't know what the other surprise, that other place that you refusing to go will bring you. So if you have a chance to like, okay, now if they're like, I gotta move to, let's say, Chicago. I'm tired of moving, but I'm like, I'm not gonna let that opportunity go because maybe Philadelphia was not meant to be my last destination, So keep on moving until you are like, yeah, there's no longer an opportunity for me. I'm ready to like settle here. At that time, you can be like, yeah, But if you feel like opportunities are still coming, just grab them and go. Like, don't worry about, are you going to belong there? Are you going to be happy? Are you going to find the international community? Are you going to find people from your country? It's like all this, you will find it like later. And some other people will substitute it for you. Like for me, my Congo Brazzaville, I haven't met anybody from my country here, but I know there are other countries in Africa which I can like relate to, and that kind of like I can shape my roots over there, So like you will always find that circle somehow, and you'll be happy like where you go. Yeah.
So you spoke about the state of belongingness and identity. Uh, like, do you ever face that? Like, where am I? What am I doing? Why am I doing this? And is it right that I'm doing this? And should I do it or should I not do it?
Yeah. I feel like those questions, they're going to be in your head. If you left your country and move to another place, even though you feel like you belong in a place, there will be time when you're going to question it. Like, am I doing the right thing? Should I do? Should I not do it? That's when I feel like it's just natural, because it's not your place. I think just your mind reminding you of what to do, of what not to do. But at the end of the day, you are the one who's going to make the decision. Like, okay, today I don't feel like I belong in this place, but what can I do to feel like I belong in the place? Sometimes it's about learning the culture of that country. Like, let's say in the UK, everybody like rugby. I felt left out because when everybody was talking about sport, I'm like, nobody talk about soccer. Like, what is the rugby? Rugby. I was like, I don't belong in the place, But at the same time, I was like, what can I do to feel like I belong in the place? I'm like, okay, learn about the rugby. Even if you don't understand, go to the rugby game. You're gonna maybe have fun. You're gonna scream with everyone, and like you'll be like, okay, it's fun. We're having fun. I'm learning something, even though I don't understand. I'm bonding with you. It's
Correct.
like we're creating it. It's all about like creating that place. Some places you have to create that sense of belonging.
Would you like to share some pivotal moment in your life where you had to take like a very big decision and that actually changed your entire trajectory uh, in your personal as well as professional growth? Like a moment where you had to take a decision and you just took it.
Yeah.
Was it like when you left Congo, or was it like somewhere else, like some other time in life?
I'll say the most important decision that I took for me was when I decided that I'm not going when I go home anytime soon. Because that in my head, it kept me going, like, you're going to go to school, you're going to go to another country, because I know I'm going to move again. So like the fear of me not knowing where I'm going to be tomorrow is kind of done, because I know I'm going to be somewhere to work on another thing to go home after. So I feel like me making the decision to be like, I'm not going to go home anytime soon, that's one of the biggest decisions that is like shaping me professionally, personally, and everything else. Yeah.
Wow, that is really something.
Yeah.
I mean, that's difficult to manage for sure. I cannot imagine not going home for a long time. The longest I have been away from home is right now. It's like more than 1 year and 2 months.
Okay.
I went from December to December, so I came in August.
I see.
I came in August 2021, and I went back in December 2021, and then again. That was the longest time I was away from home.
Okay.
The 4 months or 5 months. After that, it was like a bigger stretch for me. From that December to the next December,
Yeah.
it was like 1 year, and that was the longest I've been away from home.
Yeah.
And after that, this is the longest. This is like still continuing, and yeah, I feel every time it gets a little more comfortable.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like as time goes, you're like, I'm okay. At first, like the first 1-2 years, you're like, no, I want to go home. I want to go home. But as you keep working on yourself and you like get to new places, you are like, oh, I want to do this next. I want to do this next. You're like, okay. Like right now in my life, I'm like, I still have so many things that I want to do in this country or in other countries that I don't see myself going back home anytime soon. Like maybe I'm going to go for PhD in America. That's an option that is in my head. I'm like, okay, maybe I'm going to go for professional modeling. Like maybe I'm going to go move to another country for work, So like going home right now is not in my head. So it's a decision that I had to make with like to make carefully make, I would say, yeah. But now I'm focused. I'm closed on it. I'm not gonna go home anytime soon. Yeah.
So you graduate in a year from now.
Yeah, I graduate in summer 2025.
So that 1 year is still like stable for you. You know where you're going to be for 1 more year.
Yeah, yeah. That 1 year, I know I'm gonna go for 1 more year. After that, I don't know yet. I'm gonna think about it this summer. Because if I'm gonna go to PhD school, I need a year to apply. Like if I'm gonna go to another country for work, I will only know after I graduate. So I'm gonna find another option later on.
So that is what I was coming on to next.
Yeah.
That what now?
What now? Well, what now? Graduation.
Yeah, for now it's graduation, but after that, what would be your now after that?
Well, yeah, that's another thing that I don't know yet. As I told you, after graduation, my now after graduation,
You're
I
taking
will
1 year
know
at a
it.
time.
Yeah, I will know it. I believe either this summer or during the winter.
Mhm.
Yeah, 'cause if I know it this summer, it means I'm going to PhD. If it's during winter, it means I'm gonna apply for OPT and work either in the US or move to another country to work. So that's my two now for
Another
now.
country.
Yeah.
Okay.
I told you I liked. Now I'm used to like moving to another place and everything like that. So I see myself moving to another country.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is a huge shift
I know.
for sure.
I know.
I mean, I was just going to ask you whether you would want to move away from Philadelphia somewhere in the United States, as you told about Chicago
Yeah.
or something, for your PhD
Yeah,
or probably work.
Yeah, for my PhD, it's kind of like anywhere. Like I'm gonna come up with a list of school. Obviously, I'm gonna look at the states too. It can be Philadelphia, it can be California. I'm like, okay, whatever takes me, I'm down to go anywhere. But when it comes to work, I'm also down to go anywhere. But for work, I'm not only gonna focus on America. I'm also gonna focus in other countries. But if I have the chance to go work in Singapore, I mean, I'm gonna take the opportunity.
That's wonderful. And how do you actually plan to navigate that situation? Like, because you're saying like you might want to go and work in some other country.
Yeah.
How would you find the work over there? How would you actually try to emigrate again to that country?
Yeah, I think there's a lot. There are like a lot of like resources online that like help people from other countries to move to different countries to work. So obviously, I will need a working permit. So I just have to do like a lot of research about the country that I want to go to, and like if I'm eligible to work there. So if I find that I'm eligible to work there, that's when I'm gonna invest. That's when I'm gonna like invest a lot of my time to figure out how the process to get there. So I'm just gonna do a lot of researches online and ask people and videos and like the process. I'm pretty sure people did reviews on YouTube about that. So I'm just gonna learn.
I'm pretty sure.
Myself. Yeah.
All right. Like before we conclude this thing, before we conclude our talk over here, what would be something that you would want to give, like a message to people who want to move, who are compelled to move, or might plan to move in future, like future immigrants?
Yeah.
What message would you like to give them, and what would you like to say to them, like regarding the challenges as well as the experiences and what's coming next for them?
Yeah, I'll say when it comes to moving to a new place, the decision has to be yours. A lot of people are gonna tell you move, yeah. Some people are gonna be like, don't move, no. At the end of the day, you have to move because you want to move, and also understand that some people's challenges are not gonna be like the same as your challenges. A person can tell you don't move to this country because he experienced XYZ, but maybe you can take that challenge and endure the XYZ. So if you're gonna make your decision based on people's experiences, you might be disappointed somehow, because me moving to Idaho, people were like, no, Idaho is not good because it's like XYZ. They're like, there's nothing, nah. But I decided to move still. And over there, I realized that that's one of the best places in America where I've been, That I'm like, your challenges, your experiences going to be different than mine. So it's still good to take in consideration. I'm going to take in consideration what other people say. So take in consideration what other people going to tell you. Like, okay. But now analyze it on your own and you know yourself best. And like, do you think you can move and you're going to be okay? If you think yes, then go ahead. If you feel like you cannot, don't go. Like the decision is literally yours. You need to protect your peace and everything. Yeah.
Well, one last thing.
Yeah.
Uh, so, how do you think your experiences have shaped you now compared to the day you left your country? Like, I'm sure there might be some changes in the way you perceive things, in the way you, take on challenges, the way you tackle them,
Yeah.
and your complete overlook on the world and just the entire world is your home right now.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I can say that all this traveling have definitely shaped me differently from when I was at home. And I can see that a lot during my conversation with my family and like my friend at home, we disagree on a lot of things. I'm like, nah, it's not going to be like this. And they're like, why are you like this? Why are you like thinking differently? I'm like, okay. That's when I'm like, okay, like I changed, it clicked in my head. I'm like, I'm changed. I'm seeing things in a way the people who never left home don't see it yet. So
can you give an example?
let's say, for example, when it comes to like just job in general, there are people at home who are like, once you get your master, it's okay, you're done. But for me, I'm like, no, I feel like a master is boring. I want to get a PhD. I'm not saying it's boring. I don't know if I'm gonna stop there yet, but right now in my head, I'm like, a higher education is better. But at home, some people, it depends on your family, but some parents are like, okay, the master is good, now go get married and everything like that. I'm like, I'm not ready to get married. Like, I still have so many things. It clashing with the home culture. Like, okay, you're 24, you should have somebody. Your master is good, go get a job and then sit down. I'm like, no, I don't want a job. I want to do something else. I want to do something else. I want to do something else. Same with modeling. Every time I go do like modeling things, my dad is like, oh, it's not going to bring anything good in you and everything like that. But I'm like, when I look at myself, I'm like, I literally went there, I made connection, I know these people, I got this from there. So the point of views are already way different. And I guess the belief system, because they never left home, they don't really understand things. And I feel like it even clashes with like when I embrace other people's culture, other countries' culture. They say, oh, I'm going to do this, like run this marathon. At home we don't really run marathons. They're gonna be like, why you wanna run a marathon? You're gonna be sick, your legs gonna hurt. I'm like, the culture, like we're already clashing again. I'm like, for me, marathon, I understand it in another way that they understand it. So like there's already different type of understanding. Not like we're enemies, no, we're just arguing like why not? Like just argument back and forth. Yeah.
I see. I am pretty sure from your experiences
Yeah.
that you have shared with me and from the future experiences that you are going to gain, that you will surely leave a mark in this world, and surely a lot of people would come to know about you. Maybe currently they don't know much about you,
Yeah.
but maybe this podcast will help you to reach them.
I hope so.
And I hope that you find all the success and all the experiences that you actually want from your life, and your hunger for actually trying something new all the time doesn't ever go down, because that's what makes you you.
Yeah.
And I would love that person
Thank you for that.
I would definitely want you to come back someday in the future on the podcast as my first guest right now.
Yeah.
But at that time, probably like 100th or 150th podcast. Yeah. With more new experiences, better things to share, and better things for the listeners to listen to.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I'd love
so much.
to.
I had a really good time with you.
Thank you so much.
I wish you the best.
Yeah, you too.
Well, that was some talk with Eudes Johan Soussa, aka Jojo. Jojo, this was such a really nice talk with you. I had such a good time to know about your experiences and just think how life would have been for you, the struggles that you have been through, the struggles that this guy, he's like 2 years younger to me, and he has actually faced so much in his life. He's still very optimistic about something that is coming, but he doesn't know what that is. And he still doesn't fear what life has to bring to him. He's ready to move to a different new country. Like after a year, he is already trying to plan it. And that is very fascinating for some of you who fear actually going away from your country and trying new things out, trying to do something that you have never done before, meeting new people, people who don't know your language, whose languages you don't know, you don't know how to communicate with. But this guy, he has done it all, he has lived it all, and he is just getting started. And guys, if you want more such stories, please follow, subscribe me on this channel. Please hit the subscribe button down there, hit the bell icon, because these stories are going to keep coming. And I'm sure you will love every one of them, because all of them would be unique in itself, and they will surely have some learnings for you to take away and plan your next journey in life. Till then, bye, take care, peace out.